sometimes the challenge around, why are you doing what you're doing? Just go and get a job and, leave parents. No one wants you to tell them how to raise their children. And actually, it's more like today than ever, it's so important for parents to have the support, because it's so different to when we were raised. When we were raised, we didn't have technology at our fingertips like our children have. We didn't have the stuff. Of course, if there was things like bullying, they happen at the school and they end there. But today we have things like it happens and it follows children to their rooms. I mean, there was a case recently of sadly a young boy who completed suicide because ChatGPT had told him to do so. And so it reminded me of why God has called me to do what I'm doing, to really equip parents with the tools to raise children today that is so different to any other generation that we've ever had. And we've got to parent differently. And when we know better, we need to do better. I think sometimes in the Black community, there is also that stigma of, why are you telling me what to do with my children? Or even asking for help. You don't want to ask for help because you don't want to be seen like you failed as a parent. But in the line of work I've done, because I've seen children who made wrong decisions, and if only they had that early intervention, they wouldn't have ended up in the path where, say, they've had to be convicted for felony or for crime. But if they had that early intervention, those parents are given the tools, they can identify those signs of their children going a certain way. And so the challenge has been really people buying that vision that they need to invest, because I find sometimes that can be people rather go and buy a nice bag or nice shoes or dress rather than invest in themselves in order to support their children. So those have been some of the challenges that I've had, of people understanding that desire to equip and support. That is not judgment. I'm not trying to judge your parenting, but all I'm doing is equipping you with the tools to raise children today. So those have been some of my challenges, thinking about it, but also if coming from a strictly Christian perspective, and is it pushing Christianity down people's throat, especially we here in England anyway. I feel like in the States sometimes there is, things like youth pastor is a big thing. In the UK, I was one. We don't get the salary, we don't really get the recognition and the support. So it's those are some of the challenges that I would say that I've faced in doing what God has called me to do. But I know that is needed, because I see, like the example that I gave of at the beginning, the family that I was able to support at that time, and God was able to use them to give to me when I needed, and I was in desperate need. So there is definitely a need of parents being supported and equipped to raise children today.
Awesome. Thank you,